All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Wakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone for teaching me the truth, 100% securely. And I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Akwak who are listening and studying to show thyself approved. This is Brother Bayan from the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Hebrew Israelite Camp, coming back to you with another quick lesson. And this pretty much going to be a quick lesson based on, my one of my arguments, I believe it was my Kadar Sahan on one of the highways in Hedges, and I couldn't really pinpoint where he said it as I was actually looking for it. And it pretty much said that Esau Edom, so-called white man, like to hide the truth in movies and books, etc. Okay, and that'll pretty much be the title of this lesson. All right, so Esau Edom definitely like to hide the truth in movies, books, music, video games, and so on and so forth. And I also heard Elder Yashawamba, he said the same thing in one of his lessons as well too. I believe it was the Slave Bible. He probably said it in that one, but I can't pinpoint exactly. I had the indication that I wanted to play it before I started this lesson, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly where they said it at. But I do know for a fact Elder Yashawama said it, and then one of my Akim and on the highways and hedges said it as well too. All right, so I was actually trying to go through my videos and try to figure out where they pinpointed and said it at, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi outside, this would be edifying. So just to further back up what the Akim and especially Elder Yashawama, this is a book, this is a novel on audible.com, okay? And if you don't have Audible, it's kind of like Netflix. You pretty much pay once a month, and then you pretty much have a whole asset of a lot of audiobooks, okay? And basically how it works is you get like a free credit for a certain book that you got to pay for, but they have like audiobook that you can read for free when you pay once a month. But every time you pay, they give you a credit. They give you access to pretty much buy, a book that's not for free or whatever. Okay, but so in this book right here, which I used one of my credits just to get the first three. As you can see right here, the title of the book is "The Days of Noah," right? And you reading in the summary, it actually goes in this like the first book that I saw so far, because I actually basically listened to this book today. I finished this book today, the very first book today. All right, so I'm actually on the second book, and that's pretty much whenever I go through, whenever I'm at work, I actually be reading. I would listen to some lessons, or I'll be listen to audiobook that center around the words of Yahweh Shemi outside, right? But right here's a summary of this very book right here. Because I'm not going to play it because I'm pretty sure I'll get a copyright strike just playing it on his, playing it and reposting it on YouTube, right? So the summary is that could we be living in a time of which there is more prophetic writing than of any period in history? Noah Parker, like many in the United States, have been asleep at the wheel. During his complacency, the founding precept of America have been slowly, systematically destroyed by a conspiracy that date back hundreds of years. The sign can no longer be ignored, and Noah is forced to pull his head out of the sand and see things for what they really are. Has his awakening come too late, or can he and those around him reclaim the freedom and principles which have been lost? Watch through the eyes of Noah Parker and his family as the global empire takes shape. Ancient writings are fulfilled in the last days. Fall upon the one great United States of America, The Day of Noah. Book 1, Conspiracy, is a fast-paced fiction thriller which look at how modern conspiracy might play into biblical prophecies about the end time. You see, and so I basically got a list of precept, all right, that kind of summarized that very first book, which is the days of Noah. Okay, and like the first two precepts, the first three precepts, what pretty much goes into pretty much we give double honor to the apostles and the elders, but that'll be Hebrews 5 and 12. We'll get that in a minute. But one thing to take notice is that it actually went into the prophecies of Yahweh Shai Shai. It actually mentioned Jacob's trouble, but it didn't bring out the scriptures on that. You know, because it was talking about how, you know, some of the characters that Noah was meeting was talking about how Jacob's trouble was gonna come about. It was going into the crashing of the American dollar, which we're about to see that as well too. And one thing that it did not mention was salvation is only for the nation of Israel. All right. So throughout the book, you notice how it was saying salvation is only for basically for all the Christians. Like it had us it had a indication that everybody can be saved as long as they're a believer. Okay, and that's another thing to keep in mind as well. But the book definitely went into the prophecies of Yahweh Shai Shai. It even broke down the kingdoms of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, because it the character Noah Parker in that book actually went to a Bible study, which is in chapter 5 of their very book, and the guy that he was having Bible study with, I guess he was like an assistant pastor, and he was breaking down all the kingdom of Esau. Okay, when you go into Daniel the second chapter, Daniel was interpreting the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, King Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, and where he broke down, you know, the gold, the silver plate, and the brass, which is the gold was the Babylonian kingdom. All right, and then you had the silver plate, which is the Persian kingdom, right, and then the Greek Empire was the bronze, okay, the bronze kingdom, and then you have the fourth kingdom, which is America to this day, right, and so he pretty much broke down that prophecy in the book, man, right. So that's something that. So again, it's just to back it up with my Akim take Yashawala or Kadar Sahan. I believe it was Kadar Sahan that said it, that Esau Edom be putting things in the book and they be telling the truth in the book. And I know for a fact Elder Yashawama said it as well too. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the scriptures, man. So, you know, you saw the summary, and I highly recommend if you do have Audible, you know, definitely check this book out because it's a good read, you know. And it really does. It actually have a storyline around the prophecies of Yahweh Shai Shai. All right. Uh, so first, matter of fact, let's get the first precept that I had in mind right here. James chapter 2 and verse 19, and it says, "Thou believest that there is one power, and thou doest well. The devil also believe and tremble." Okay, and so this is Esau Edom, so-called white man. He knows, okay, he knows his time to get ready to come, and he knows, and he have that fear. This is why he gonna have that great wrath. Okay, Revelation 12 and 12. Matter of fact, it actually some of the chapters actually will read a scripture before they start the chapter. Okay, and Revelation 12 and 12 was actually mentioned at the beginning of one of these chapters, and it was quoted in one of the storylines. Okay, one of the characters actually quoted that chapter. Okay, so you know James 2 and 19, it said, "Thou believest that there is one power, and thou doest well. The devil also believe and tremble." Okay, all right, and so we go from there. We read Hebrews chapter 5 and 12. Okay, because this is why we give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, because even though you got to pick the meat out the bone in that book, because we know for a fact that salvation is only for the Hebrew Israelites, and the true teachers were pretty much taught us that. So it's Hebrews chapter 5. I think I had to pull up. I had to pull up already. Right here, Hebrews chapter 5 and 12, and it said, For the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teaches you again would be the first principle of the oracles of Yahweh Yahushua and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Okay, so when you disregard all the things that you were taught in America, aka Babylon the Great, we had to have a teacher. Okay, and that teacher with us was GMS, the apostle and elders, the apostle and elders of GMS. All right, the elder bishop, which is starting with the head elder apostle Tahar. All right, and then on down. And so that was they basically taught us the milk of the scriptures, and we was able to understand the prophecies. Okay, so the thing that the thing that wasn't mentioned in the book was that salvation was only for the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, so when you go and you read 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 36, and it said, "Thou shalt find that Israel by name has kept thy precept, but not the heathen." All right, and so that's one thing in that book that you notice that they were trying to make it seem like the heathen can be saved as well in that book. Salakia, I got a stuffy nose, man. Been trying to get some good medicine or whatever, man. But it seems like nothing ain't working. Got bad allergies. All right, so another one is Baruch chapter 3 and 36, and it says, "He had found out all the ways of knowledge and had given it unto Jacob his servant and to Israel his beloved." Right, and so those are two precepts. You know, I just got a list of precepts that I want to read. All right, and so as the story went on, you know, another thing, Noah was actually the character Noah Parker in the book was a school teacher, and he basically actually went into prison. He was persecuted for he didn't necessarily try to teach his kids or force the word onto his children, but he was still persecuted, and they sent him in jail. And throughout his trial, it was shown through in a book, you know, Amos 8 and 11. Okay, we read that real quick. Amos 8 and 11, it said, "Behold, the day comes, said the Lord Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai." So that was through Noah's trial and tribulation. Okay, in the book, it showed that Noah was was being persecuted for his belief, even though he wasn't trying to force it onto his students in his classroom. And, you know, they actually sent him to jail behind the words of the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai. So we can get another one, which is the Revelation, because I think Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. Right. So Revelation 2 and 10, it said, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life." Right? And so that's what happened in the story. You know, if you do decide to go read that, listen to that audiobook, in the story, Noah actually was sent to jail. Okay, and not only his wife was persecuted, his child got taken away behind the words of the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai, right? All right, and it basically lines up perfectly with Amos 8:11, because even the church was actually being bankrupted, especially for, you know, there was churches that refused to marry the alphabet agenda, okay? And so they were being sued, and the insurance was dropping, the insurance company was dropping the churches, okay, for not going along with the agenda, all right? So that's another prophecy that would, you know, they basically created a storyline around the prophecies, okay? So Amos 8 and 12, and it says, "And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, and shall not find it." All right. So, you know, that was one scripture that I had, right? And get Daniel 12 and 1, which was going into breaking down of the American society. Okay, so that was another prophecy that they had a story line around too. Okay, so Daniel 12 and 1. And of course, you can get Jeremiah chapter 30 and 7. Okay, so Daniel 12 and 1, and it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, there was a nation. Okay, and it said, even to that time, and even to that same time, and at the end of that time, thy people shall be delivered, and everyone that shall be found written in the book. And it's talking about everyone that shall be found written in the book. And this book is specifically for the nation of Israel. Okay, so that's how you know salvation is only for the Israel, right? Because it said everyone that is found shall be written in the book. All right. Uh, Sirach 41 and 11. And Sirach 41:11, and it says, the mourning of man is about their body, but an ill name of sinner shall be blotted out. Shall be blotted out. Okay, so they didn't put no properties around sinners or anything like that, but that's something to keep in mind, because if you a sinner, the Yahweh Shem Yahweh will blot you out. Okay, he would not save you in the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. uh 2 Timothy 3 and 12. All right, so these are just quick precepts that came to mind, and I just wanted to kind of summarize what was happening in that story. Okay, and again, I think it was a good read. You can definitely go check it out if you do have Audible. All right, so 2 Timothy 3 and 12, and it says, yeah, all that live godly in Hamashiach Yahweh shall suffer persecution. Okay, and even when you go into the title, one of the titles of the very next book is also called persecution right here. Okay, so and that's exactly after the days of Noah, after Noah basically beat his trial. Now this is where at this point right now so far, a lot of people are about to be persecuted. All of the believers of Yahweh Shem Yahweh more than likely about to be persecuted. Okay, and that's what's actually shown in the story so far. Okay, and that should be a cut to all of these pastors that try to tell you that you're going to be raptured out of here. Okay, so reading that 2 Timothy 3 and 12, and it says, yeah, and all that will live godly in the anointed, all right, and Hamashiach Yahweh shall suffer persecution. And verse 13, it says, but evil man and seducer shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Okay, and this is a future prophecies. Okay, these are the things that you're going to see during Jacob's trouble. Psalm 64 and 5. All right, so this is just a kind of Israelite review on an audio book. Okay, uh, and that's another thing in this book. This is why I pulled out Psalm 64 and 5, because there was another character, because it kept going back and forth to the character named Noah, and then there was a character named Elliot who was pretty much an atheist. Okay, and throughout all of the things that was happening, it's looking like that atheist is about to become a believer. That's what it sounds like. Okay, so the character Elliot was working for the CIA, and basically they were coming across some things that was fishy among the government. Okay, so they were kind of like whistleblowers. All right, and Elliot were being prepared, for the things that were coming. Okay, and he had a boss that was telling him things that's about to come down the pipeline in America. Okay, and he kind of got advice from that boss, and that boss was telling him about the Rockefeller, the Illuminati, okay, the secret council. He even mentioned the Skull and Bone in that book. All right, and so this is what prompted me to get this very precept right here. Is Psalm 64. The point would be in 5, but we'll start at verse 3. Salaka, let's just start at the top. All right, and it said Psalm 64 and 1, and it says, "Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy." Okay, and this is ultimately uh the spirit of the Lord, the spirit of the Israelite. This is how King David is coming. This is the spirit of the true Hebrew Israelite. This is how we're coming in. We're telling you preserve our life from the fear of the enemy, because we know who our enemies are. Okay, all right. So far they have not mentioned that salvation. I mean, of course they're not going to mention it in a book, but it shows that Esau Edom does know the truth, and they are shaking in their boot because they know their kingdom get ready to fall. So, Psalm 64 and 2, and it says, "Hide me from the secret counsels of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." Okay? So when they mention the Illuminati, and even mention the meaning of Illuminati when it says light bearer. Okay? And it said, verse 3, and it says, "Who wet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bow to shoot their arrows, even bitter word." Verse 4, and it said, "They may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in evil, and in an evil matter, they commune of land snare poverty. They say, who shall see them?" All right, and right now, and what it's looking like in the book, how they exposing, the upper echelon, the elite bankers in pretty much the government, the CIA. All right, so that guy Elliot had a boss, and he was talking to him, and he was letting them know that the CIA and all of them basically answer to the elite banker, the Illuminati. And right here, when it says, "Who shall see them?" This is the spirit of those elite bankers. This is who they have their pride. All right, verse 6, and they said, "They search out iniquity, they accomplish a diligent search, but both the inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep." All right. In verse 7, it said, "But Yahweh Bashimiah shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. All right, and so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." Okay, so right here in verse 5, they had their pride, and they had their pride thinking that they were going to remain in the secret council. They were going to remain in the dark, and people are not going to know them. But in verse 8, okay, Yahweh shall expose them. And that's exactly what Elliot's boss was doing when he was telling Elliot about this. Verse 9, it said, "All men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahweh shall but say doubt, for they shall wisely consider of his doing." Okay. All right, so then you got that, right? And we got Jeremiah 51 and 33. Okay, so all of this stuff being exposed in this book, it actually showed the destruction of America, aka Babylon the Great. So, hold on, give me 1 second. All right, so this is Jeremiah 51, and really this whole chapter is definitely something to read. All right. Jeremiah 51 and 33, and it said, "For thus said the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts, Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon, is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come." All right. So this is right here is telling you right here, and the reason why I came up with this precept, because it's basically starting so far. What I read is starting so far with the crashing of the dollar, okay, and it basically mentioned the Chinese and the Chinese, Russian, and pretty much the BRIC nation. and how that they sold their American debt, okay, which is going on now. China dropped the American debt, and then they took that money and they basically placed it in gold, which is showing that the crashing of American dollar is getting ready to happen. It actually mentioned that in his book as well. So this book was pretty much a story full of prophecies, man. Okay. We got a few more. We'll close this out, man. So I just wanted to do a quick Hebrew Israelite review on this book called The Days of Noah. And, it's a book series, and again, it's kind of like, Netflix. Okay, it's but instead it's just full of audio book. Okay, and they actually put it in series form. All right, so The Days of Noah series, as you can see the title right here. So this is Exodus chapter 19. It's Exodus 19 and verse 6. Okay. All right, so we start at verse 5. Exodus 19 and 5, and it says, Ye that now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my commandment, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Okay, and this is going back to what I was saying earlier, is that of course they not going to mention the Hebrew Israelite, but there was a part of the story where Noah mentioned to his daughter that the Lord will create a new heaven and a new earth, and that new heaven and a new earth is for His peculiar treasure. Yahweh Shah peculiar treasure. Okay, in verse 6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou speak unto the children of Israel. Okay, and so again, through the story, they made it seem like it was salvation for everybody. And that's one thing they did not mention. Salvation is only for the nation of Israel. All right. And so we'll go ahead and end this off with Isaiah chapter 45 and 17. That was the last precept I had in the list. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying, man. So this was just a Hebrew Israelite review on a book called The Days of Noah. There was a series of book called The Days of Noah. So this is Isaiah chapter 45 and 17. Isaiah chapter 45, 17, it said, But Israel shall be saved, and the Lord, Yahweh Shai, with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Okay, so that's pretty much the point right there. And as a matter of fact, when I read in Exodus the 19th chapter, those are one of the books of the law. And when you think about that prayer again, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven, which is further prove that the nation of Israel will have that everlasting kingdom. Okay, that the nation of Israel will have that kingdom. Will be that once again be that royal priesthood, that holy city, and they will be above all the whole world. Okay, they will rule the whole world in righteousness. All right, so this is definitely a good read. All right, and if you do happen to have Audible on Amazon, all right, you can download it. You can definitely go check this out. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying. With that, let me give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth 100% securely. Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.